3 innings against NC State.
Yeah, she had a rough day the day before, and it was really good to see her come back out and regain her confidence just a little bit, maybe.
Well, a 74-degree first pitch here on a Thursday afternoon, the first of 2 games on the ACC Network Extra this afternoon. Starts off Strelo with the ball inside as Minnesota has been experimenting with their lineup. Strelo has mainly been in the 2 or 3 spot. We've seen Chavez and Oakland filtering around as well as this spring break trip continues for the Golden Gophers. And a patient at-bat at the plate has Strelo ahead in the count 3-0. Craig Hyde, the home plate umpire, with Donald Maddox and Danny Slaughter on the corners. Well, as ugly as the last 2 days have been here in Clemson, quite an opposite here on this Thursday as a friendly call from McCubbin keeps the at-bat alive.
You couldn't ask for a prettier day today. Low 70s, high 60s, just a little bit of a breeze, sunshine. This is awesome.
Healthy cut from the senior at the top of the lineup who is hitting .296 this season.
On base percentage of .426. And if you're the Gophers, you want to get people on base.
Tell us what McCubbin brings to the table from an Arsenal perspective.
She's got a little bit of everything. She can make it go up, make it go down, working on a changeup. She was highly touted coming in here out of high school, and they still think she's got tremendous upside, but she's still trying to figure some things out.
Nice ball chopped up the middle, and a chance for Lungaleo as she throws it wide, and Strelo will reach on what might be ruled an error to start the game. And it will be.
Yeah, that was just a, well, it's just a bad throw. I mean, you can be as nice as you want to be about it, but that was just one that that she wishes she might have done a little bit better on. But the bottom line is this: the Gophers have a runner on base, and they've got Oakland at the plate. This is not how you want to start. This is not how you want to start a game behind a young pitcher that's trying to figure things out. Yeah, you got the ground ball, you got to get the out.
Look at those numbers. Got first team all-conference last year and all-region as a freshman for Oakland.
Yeah, when I first saw him, I thought it was a misprint. But you confirmed for me, no, that's what she really does. Those are great numbers.
Meanwhile, McCubbin looking to settle down after the error to start the contest. Former Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Georgia. 1-1 pitch just misses, and the moans and groans start from the home support.
Yeah, that's the 45. There's about 45 people sitting right behind home plate, and they negotiate with the umpire the entire game.
2-1 changeup dribbled foul with Kayla Chavez and Taylor Kraft to follow. Very similar lineups. Top 5 on both sides. Extremely productive starts to the season. The question, though, Coach, will the bottom of the lineup produce?
Absolutely, and that's been something that the Tigers have been trying to figure out. Now they've run up against another team in the Gophers that are trying to find the same thing.
2-2 take fills the count, and McCubbin starts both hitters with a full count now.
That was a pretty good pitch, but maybe just off the plate.
Hold on a second. We're going to get time called by the umpire behind second base. Danny Slaughter realizes he may be in the wrong spot, so he'll jog over to third. How about those nice new bright blue?
Wait a minute. Now he's running back.
Just getting his cardio in.
All right, let's see what he's going to do this time. Is he going to go back? No, now he's ready. All right, here we go.
Payoff pitch now to Oakland, and she will reach on a walk. So a walk follows an error, and there are 2 on with no outs for Chavez.
Slaughter should have just stayed there. Now he's there already. It's not that he was wrong, it's just he's a prophet.
McCubbin, who sports a 3.60 ERA this season, makes her 6th start of the campaign. Phenomenal strike-to-walkout ratio, though. 24 strikeouts, now just 8 walks.
And this is a great opportunity for Minnesota to get on the board. Runner scoring position, nobody out. Got a young pitcher now who's certainly after a walk, she's going to probably try to be around the zone so she may grab a little bit more of the plate than she wants to. So if you're Chavez, you got a chance to maybe bust one in the gap.
Brown is in at third base. A pair of strikes fluttering through the zone from McCubbin. Minnesota's bats have been on fire. 33 runs in their last 3 games, a pair of them at Charlotte, and then the game at Greensboro on Tuesday.
They've been playing pretty good. You know, the northern teams, it takes them a couple of games to get going.
Good waste pitch.
I mean, Minnesota's played 18 games, and I don't know how much preparation they had outdoors before they started.
Piper Ritter, the 4th-year head coach, who has been around the program for nearly 2 decades. Pitching coach that saw the Gophers reach the World Series in 2019. And a regional trip last year, but they said goodbye to their All-American pitcher Autumn Peace and are looking to piece together the pitching staff as Ritter, in her own right, one of the best pitchers in Minnesota history.
Yes, she was.
Chavez battling and will poke one into center field. The first hit of the contest fills the bases. Oh, a perfect throw from Clark. This is why you have a cleanup hitter, right?
Yes.
All 3 get on.
And for Minnesota, you couldn't ask for a better start. You get a gift, a walk, and then a single. And now you got your cleanup hitter in there with nobody out.
It's Taylor Kraft, the All-American catcher, transferred from Duke 2 seasons ago and put together a phenomenal campaign last year.
She's off to a slow start. She's only hitting .212 on the year and only got 6 RBI so far. So she's going to try to get off the snide and get her season really going offensively. And everybody that's ever seen her play knows that can certainly happen.
14 home runs a season ago, still looking for her first. Had a pair of RBIs on Tuesday, though. Good take evens the count 1-1 as Minnesota has the bases loaded here in the first inning with nobody out.
Infield playing in. Looking like they feel like runs are going to be a premium.
J.C. Hambrick, starting pitcher for Minnesota on the other side, and Kraft gets hit on her back knee. McCubbin frustrated, and Minnesota will scrape across the first run.
Yep, there's another gift. We've had an error, a walk, and now a hit batsman. So Minnesota has not really had to do a whole heck of a lot other than hit a soft single into center field. And they got to run across, they got bases loaded, and still no out recorded.
McCubbin's last start came on Saturday against NC State. It was a quick one, and this will be a bit of a quick.
Yeah, this is the boss going out. This is John Rittman going to the mound. It's not the pitching coach. I think he wants to talk to everybody involved.
It almost looked like he pointed quickly. I believe Reagan Spencer is the one hurrying to warm up, the freshman in the pen. Excuse me, senior.
He is talking directly to his pitcher out there. Directly. And that, this is a challenge now. This is exactly what he's doing. He's challenging her to step up. Show me what you got.
1 ball put in play on a ground ball to the shortstop, a walk, and a bloop single. So realistically, it has not necessarily been all barrels.
No. It's, I don't mean this to sound no disrespect at all to the Gophers, but there's been very little they've done to create that run. There's Reagan Spencer going to work out in the Clemson bullpen.
And it's Maddie Elke, the DP in the 5 spot with the bases loaded, nobody out in the first.
McCubbin's not fooling anybody right now. When she's around the zone, they put the bat on the ball. They haven't hit but 1 ball in fair territory. Well, 2 balls in fair territory. One was thrown away by the shortstop. The other one was like a little lob shot out there in the shallow center.
Infield is creeping in. It's the senior at the plate as Elke takes low 1-1. First of 2 games here today, so what kind of strategy does that factor in from a coaching perspective?
Well, you know that you're going to probably use most of your pitching staff today. Some of them may, sometimes a coach has in a midweek game, they already know how many innings they want from each pitcher. I don't think that's the case with Clemson.
1-1.
Because we saw, 2 days ago, we saw Valerie Cagle pitching a very intense ball game, had to win extra innings. He would love to get a lot of softball out of some of these other pitchers and limit the amount that he may have to use or may not use Cagle. She gets a start at first base in this game.
Off speed misses high. Cagle went 9 innings in the loss to Tennessee on Tuesday. In fact, Clemson has battled with a couple top 10 teams and a couple 2-1 losses here in the past 8 days.
Yeah, it's been a lot of hard luck, a little bit of leaving runners on base, a little bit of everything.
We got a real battle brewing now as McCubbin has crossed the 20 pitch mark in the first, still looking for her first out.
Yeah, she's got work to do to get out of this inning.
Clemson fans definitely know that top of the first have been a bit of a troublesome inning with 4 allowed on Sunday against NC State. They would come back and win the game as a foul tip caught by JoJo Hyatt, out number 1.
Well, now maybe everybody can take a deep breath now. You'll see right here. Got just a little bit of it.
25th strikeout for McCubbin.
Good job by JoJo Hyatt hanging on to that ball. Infield still in.
Breezy Burnett at the plate, a speedy hitter. In fact, the fastest hitter on Ritter's team, she told me. 10 steals on the year. Pretty good first name as well if you're going to be a speedster.
Breezy, great name.
Breezy Burnett, big side. 292 hitter at the plate.
The old rock and roll band Leonard Skinner had a song called They Call Me the Breeze.
Wind is blowing in if you're wondering whether it was breezy on this Thursday afternoon.
Daniel, our producer, knew that song I mentioned. I really wish I'd never mentioned it now.
We got to give some love. Kurt Sutton started singing away.
Yeah, he did a great job. I mean, I'm not going to say bad anything about Kurt. I mean,
force at every base here in the first. A 1-2 count now from McCubbin, who has allowed 1 unearned run thus far. Just an absolutely picture-perfect day. 74 degrees, a little bit of wind, and the clouds look fake.
And you know what's sad, Daniel? We'll talk about that after this pitch.
Bases juiced with Gophers.
There's a strike. Nice
call.
Pitch.
Right at the top of the zone for the second out.
That was a big pitch right there for Brooke McCubbin. Oh, nice job. Tail back over the plate.
While we have a second here, let's introduce you to the Clemson defense. You saw Lungaleo. UNC transfer and Alex Brown has been really solid at third.
Yes, she has. She's been filled in nicely.
Pop up by Leshper. McCubbin! Oh, collides with Cagle. And McCubbin's the one who secures it to end the inning. So the Tigers strand the bases loaded as Minnesota scores 1 in an action-packed first.
Have a huge win coming out of that first half inning. To give up only 1 run after bases loaded and nobody out.
An unearned run to boot as Alex Brown takes low and outside.
It could have been a lot uglier.
Grand Canyon University transfer in J.C. Hambrick, who got the start on Tuesday in Greensboro. And 4 innings, 2 earned.
The number jumps out at me about her. Well, there's 2, the ERA, and then got a lot of walks compared to strikeout. 13-12 ratio, that's not good.
29 innings pitched for Hambrick. 1-2 punch with her and the Florida State transfer, Bree Enter. Oh, we had a chance for the cameraman to make the grab.
And he's doing good. He's living.
We got a thumbs up.
Got a thumbs up from him. Everything's okay over there. Maybe ought to get a trainer down there to check him.
He's all right.
No stoppage in play. All right, we're good.
And so the count 1-2 now to Brown, trying to set the table with Clark and Cagle to follow. Let's see, do you call this an error, Scott? We got Taylor out there.
Oh, he got hit. No, that's not an error. He was dedicated to his job.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm okay. You know what that means? He probably broke his arm.
Brown, hard hit, diving stab by Strelo for the first down.
What a nice play. She got that ball after it went by her. They hit that ball by her, and she got that glove out there and caught that thing. What a nice play.
An emphasis on the Golden Gophers, and here's the defense as we take another look.
Look at that. You see, the ball was by her.
The ball found the glove, not the other way around.
Yeah, it was an accident, but it accounts.
Oh, it was pretty.
Great job that time.
Sometimes you don't have to dive, and then there's instances like that where you have to, as Mackenzie Clark takes ball 1.
And that was just a heck of a play. I mean, if you're walking back to the dugout, Brown, you're going, man, I had a single of a buyer.
Yeah.
They were writing it down.
Strelo has been a pivotal addition to that second base spot for Coach Ritter's squad. Of course, she had the game-winning double in extra innings on Tuesday, a walk-off earlier in the year as well against Georgia Tech. Minnesota looking for a marquee victory.
Well, they did beat San Diego State earlier in the year, and they were ranked at the time. I don't know if San Diego State is ranked this week or not, but they were then.
At 1-4 against ranked teams. Fell 8-0 in Charlotte against a top 25 Kentucky team.
Well, this Golden Gopher program is only like 4 years removed from a World Series appearance. This is a good team, a good program.
3-0 now to Clark, and she will reach on the 4-pitch walk.
I'm being told now by our crack staff that whereas San Diego State is no longer in the top 25, they are still receiving votes.
I call it a ranked win.
Well, it was at the time.
Yeah. They've also took on number 6 Washington, top 10 Stanford, fell 3-0 and 12-4 in those two.
Cagle may hit this ball over to the indoor track. She's still probably so mad.
Yeah, collided with McCubbin to end the top half as Cagle takes strike 1, and a 400 even batting average here for the All-World Player of the Year.
And she's hitting 400, and she doesn't get many good pitches to hit. Longaleo
backing her up on deck as Cagle fists one off and falls behind 0-2. Valerie 1 hit and a walk on Tuesday.
Everything that could be said about Cagle has been said,
right,
but it is still awfully fun to watch her play.
For those new to Clemson softball, Valerie Cagle was a two-way threat since the day she stepped onto campus. Freshman of the Year and Player of the Year her first year. Last season won the USA National Player of the Year award.
She is special. And she's as quiet and as stoic and as just even keel. Now, I don't know what goes on inside her, but that was when they had the little collision there, that's about as demonstrative as I've ever seen. And it was just a stare.
Speed and Clark at first base. 2-2 pitch is popped up. Foul territory in play, and it's snagged by Kraft. Some big sigh of relief in the circle from Hambrick, and there's 2 outs here in the first.
Yeah, but Longaleo's coming up the bat, and she's off to a pretty good start. Working in the 4-hole, hitting .327. She's got 9 RBI, 3 home runs. She's been heating up as late. With 2 outs in the inning now, this would be a time you might watch for Clark to run.
42 career stolen bases for Mackenzie Clark, 3 away from tying the all-time mark set by Carly Shannon.
With a runner on first and Cagle in the box, sometimes you don't want to run because all you do is open up a base. And like that's what Tennessee did. You didn't let Cagle hit in a big spot. And I just think that it's a matter of time before Clark goes during this at bat.
Kraft behind home. She has thrown out 13 in her Minnesota career, 10 of them last season. Count 2-1 now to Lungalea.
Now you got a hitter-friendly count, so this enhances the possibility of her running.
Driven deep to left field, and Breezy Burnett makes it look easy as Minnesota able to put up a 0 in the bottom half. We'll see the Golden Gophers come back up next.
And they'll stroll in here, but we have a great crowd here for a 4 o'clock start game in the middle of the week.
First of two, both will be right here on the ACC Network Extra as Delaney Cox, the 8-hitting first baseman, leads it off. Brooke McCubbin looking to settle down after loading the bases with nobody out. A walk, a hit by pitch would score a run, and then a couple key strikeouts and a pop-out to end the first.
Those 2 strikeouts were huge for her, and it showed a little something of her, too. She responded pretty well to whatever John Rittman said out there.
Cox, a senior, 0 for 3 in her last outing on Tuesday. McCubbin watches it sail high. Of course, the new rule change this past offseason. The pitchers are now allowed to take a crow hop or a leap off the rubber. Certainly loosens it up.
Well,
a lot of the underclassmen.
It just cleared up a lot of. It was so subjective, that rule. Is she hopping? Is she not hopping? What's going on? And they cleaned up the rule, and I commend the Rules Committee for doing that.
There's also a new 20-second pitch clock as a slow roller caroms off the glove of Brown, and we may have another error to start an inning for the Gophers.
I don't know if they'll call that a hit or an error. They did give it an error. It got off the end of her glove. That's a tough error.
Yeah, that's a tough play.
Because if Logaleo does make the play, she can't make the throw. But it went down as an error. But it really doesn't matter. There's a leadoff runner on first.
And the 9-hitter Morgan DeBoard at the plate with the corner infield thinking bunt, and DeBoard fouls it back.
Yeah.
Now DeBoard coming off of a career game on Tuesday. 3 for 3 with 3 runs scored and a double from the 9 spot.
Yeah, that's a pretty good ball game there. And she's not your typical 9-hole hitter. You see, she's hitting 378 down there.
And we're going to get a trainer meeting as well from that foul ball.
Okay.
Let's take a look at that last play again. See if you rule this an error or not.
See, that's hard for me to score that an error, but, I don't want to be the official scorer. I mean, they have a, very, very tough job to do, but I always kind of look at it on one of those plays that if the shortstop had made that play, they would not have recorded the out.
22nd error of the season for the Clemson defense. Now DeBoard ready. Puts down a bunt back to McCubbin. Quick fire to first, and 1 out on a perfect sacrifice.
That was a great job. Right down to sacrifice and the 1-3 put out. See right here. Good bunt. McCubbin did a good job, got it over there. Cagle made the play at first base. There's 1 out, but the top of the order is there now.
So Sydney Strelo, who reached on the error and scored in the first, made a ridiculously nice diving catch in the bottom half as she takes a strike.
Oh, that was a great play.
See that? She just rode and then she ran. The old row and run.
Yes.
Now looking for an RBI as McCubbin misses the zone high, and it's 1-1. So McCubbin started her career 45 innings pitched in 2022, had a 5.2 mark and a 2.3 ERA. Backed it up out of the bullpen last season with a 1.34 ERA. It's a pop-up in the infield. McCubbin says, I'm not going to touch this one. Lets Moore come in.
She put the anchor out real early there, didn't she? She just stopped. She said, Maddie, you're on your own.
And that's the right call, right?
Oh, absolutely. She don't move.
It didn't land in the circle. And Jess Oakland, now the last chance here in the second inning. Runner at second. And a .466 batting average for Oakland, who walked in the first.
Okay.
We got a nice relationship brewing. After Cagle and McCubbin ran into each other in the first, here's Moore and McCubbin after. Just a little chuckle.
Yeah. Maddie's going back. Oh, whew.
Deep to center. The wind will cut it down, and Clark in front of the warning track to end the frame. Gophers lead 1-0. Clemson will look for their first hit next.
Starting.
As Maddie Moore leads things off, followed by Vieira and Johnson in the bottom of the second inning for the Tigers. Moore with a couple base hits.
Tell you, Strelow's, that ball was by her. I mean, we saw it. Yeah. I know I keep belaboring the point, but that was a fine play.
One and one the count now.
There she is. Out there on patrol, and there's Maddie Moore.
J.C. Hambrick in the circle. And a check swing on 1-1. No swing, says Donald Maddox.
And he's right.
Umpire's always right, correct?
Rarely. No. You know what is surprising? How many times they're right. They're very good.
2-1 pitch driven deep to right. Leshburr is back at the wall, and it one-hops the fence. Moore will think three and get there without a throw. It's a leadoff triple for the junior.
The ball took a huge hop off the wall. The right fielder got over there and did everything she could. You'll see that Leshburr did everything she possibly could. That'll go as a straight triple. Yeah, you watch the swing. Here's the swing. Going with the pitch, hit it opposite field, which she can do. Now watch this big bounce off the wall. See that? I mean, it went way up. And I think that Moore was happy.
A little bit more fired up than when she caught the pop-up.
Yeah, I thought so, yeah.
In the top of the second. And now Abby Vieira, a chance to drive in the run. As the infield creeps in, Hambrick starts with strike one. And this is what we highlighted in the open, Coach. You get past the top five, who can generate in the bottom of the lineup, as Vieira hitting 220 has 6 ribbies.
She's going to heat up, though. She's a much better hitter than that.
Popped down the third base line and off the screen. 0-2.
And you know the thing about Vieira, this is the first season that she's been completely healthy. She's banged up all her freshman year, banged up last year.
Junior from the Los Angeles area, Mission Viejo, California, which is a hotbed for softball talent.
The whole state of California is a hotbed. California, Texas, Florida, Georgia. A lot of players come from those 4 states. But it's picking up all over the country, though. You're finding more and more good players everywhere.
One hit apiece. Clemson looking to even it up. As Vieira to the shortstop, Oakland, who ranges back for out number 1.
Vieira wishes she had that pitch back. She didn't get get enough of that ball to do anything with it. And with a runner on third, you want to, the first part of business is to get the run across. And here's the key batter in the inning now is the young freshman, Kylie Johnson.
I could let you go.
No, she's got to drive this run in. I don't care how. She's just got to find a way. She's only hitting 158, but limited at bats. She's only got 19 at bats.
Yep, seventh start of the year.
So we'll throw the batting average out and not worry about it. But right now, she needs at least a long fly ball.
Filling in for the injured Lindsey Garcia. Garcia with an awkward slide over the weekend at NC State, held out as a precaution. An opportunity. Every injury is an opportunity, right?
Absolutely.
That was a good-looking changeup at 54 miles an hour from Hambrick.
And we've seen changeups in the last couple of days that were very, very good.
Fly ball scores the run as Johnson takes the curveball outside. Hard to hit the ball up, though, against a heavy drop arm, isn't it? As Coach Rittman looking to urge on his newcomer.
Yeah, there's Johnny Rittman, well dressed. Johnny Ballgame, they call him.
And her half strike evens the count 2-2.
That was a good pitch.
Hambrick.
If I'm Johnson, that's a pitch I go after. That was something she could have turned on.
Started her career at Grand Canyon University, all conference as a freshman in the WAC. Now in her second season at Minnesota as Johnson does the job. Flies it out to Burnett. And a sac fly evens us at 1 here in the second.
She did her job. That is an outstanding job by the young freshman. You could almost, I guarantee you, she felt it. And you see, Maddie Moore scored very easily to even up this game. But that's a rookie coming in and doing the best she could to help her team. And that was a great job.
So to the 8th spot, and one of the original members of the Clemson Tigers. Yep. In year 5, 6th year for JoJo Hyatt. Catching today, we saw her DP on Tuesday, and she'll chase the first pitch out to center for DeBoard to handle. So Clemson able to scrape across the run thanks to the leadoff triple by Maddie Moore. Stick with.
I can't believe this. We're not talking steak. We're not talking chicken or something like that. Look at what we're cooking out here. You see this? Now this is just unbelievable.
See that? Oh, look at the chicken hanging as well.
Not only that, he holds it up like he's proud.
This broadcast is officially brought to you by mouth-burning pizza rolls.
Well, I'm telling you right now,
Kayla Chavez fouls it.
Those better be some good pizza rolls.
You never had them?
No.
Oh, you must not have gone to college in this century.
No, I didn't. I went last century.
That's what I'm saying.
But I'm accustomed to eating food.
It's an automatic mouth burner, I'll tell you that.
Well,
a chance in the hole. Lungaleo slips, and we will have 3 straight leadoff base runners for the Gophers here today.
Yeah, it's not ideal to keep doing this.
That will certainly be a single for Chavez. Let's take another look.
Yeah. Nothing she could do there. She lost her footing.
I mean, the only person that Lungaleo would have thrown out from there was Scott running.
No, because Scott wouldn't have ran.
She would have thrown you out.
Yes. I mean,
And so Taylor Kraft comes to the plate in a 1-1 game in the top of the 3rd as Minnesota and Clemson meet for the first time, and they will meet for the second time about a half an hour after we finish this. Just the beginning of this Tiger Invitational featuring Mercer, Longwood, and Fordham. Doubleheader tomorrow for Minnesota. Clemson take on Mercer tomorrow at 5. Longwood Saturday at 6. And then we wrap things up here with Fordham at 12:30 on Sunday.
And there may be a little weather in the middle of the weekend, so all the fans, be sure you check the website to find out, if there's been time, change of game time, et cetera, and those kind of things.
Squibber back to the circle. McCubbin. Oh, she throws it to the player not on the bag as Moore makes the catch. and everyone's safe.
There's another miscommunication, but that had nothing to do with McCubbin. McCubbin, her job is to throw the ball, and she did throw the ball. Now, Longaleo and Moore have played together for a while. They've got to work this out. That has got to be Longaleo.
Couldn't quite tell from that replay if Longaleo could have made the catch.
But the point I'm making is the ball was thrown across the base.
Right. No, it looked like a perfect throw.
Yeah, I mean, Longaleo's got to be there.
Now a pinch runner will replace the catcher, Kraft.
And if Maddie Moore is going to make that play, at least be on the bag. But her job really there is to back up the play. It's not really to turn that. McCubbin did everything right. See, that throw was a little wide. It was a little wide, but Longaleo has got to get over there and get the force, if nothing else, in my opinion.
Lucy Hooper, the runner at first, and Maddie Elke takes low.
You know, that is one of the cool things about being an analyst is that you have an opinion that absolutely does not matter. I mean, you know, even when I'm wrong, it doesn't matter. Because the scorers and the players and the coaches, they're what matter.
Foul tip by Elke, and so we have seen a defensive miscue in each inning.
I guess they had a reach on a fielder's choice there.
That's the right call.
It sure is. But it's downright discouraging if you're McCubbin. The throw did tail away, though, from the shortstop side in Longaleo's defense.
McCubbin has been asked to pick up a few extra outs in every inning. This one a little bit more self-contained.
Yes. McCubbin needs to get inside her own head right now, get in a tunnel, forget about everything bad that's happened. The only thing she can control is the next pitch. She can't be thinking about stuff.
Ground ball down the first baseline. Cagle is there and will pick up the easy out, and it works as a sacrifice for Elke for the first out of the frame.
That's a productive out right there, you see. She made an out. That's a 3 unassisted, but 2 runners moved 60 feet. The out is a great thing. The best, you know, the one thing that McCubbin has got in her pocket now, she's got a base open, and she can be really picky and choosy as to who she works against.
Brings up Breezy Burnett, who struck out looking with the bases loaded her last time up, and now a wild pitch will score the run and give Minnesota the lead again.
You know, we talked about it earlier in the week, and it's worth talking about every day. When you go out and score, you want your defense and your pitching to go out there and give you a shutdown inning. And JoJo High had no chance at that pitch. That pitch was on the ground about 48 feet up. And it's just, you know, it's 63 feet. Not 63 feet.
Is that 43 feet?
Yeah, 43 feet.
42.9, something like that.
Yeah, I was playing baseball for a minute.
So now Burnett, with the infield in, looks to bunt.
That was your squeeze.
Yeah. Would have worked pretty well, it looked like.
Yep, they'd had it beat.
Speed at third base and the pinch runner Hooper. And an extremely disjointed start to the game for Clemson. This run will be earned, but barely.
Alert and try to block some things up.
So 2-1 count to Burnett. She'll look for the suicide squeeze again and foul it off.
Wow, that's unusual to see it back to back. Now you tell Burnett, okay, hit a double.
Meanwhile, the infield undecided about halfway as Thompson fires in a breaking pitch for a strike and another key strikeout.
That was a changeup that has some movement on it. And that is a huge out. Watch this, Daniel. See that movement?
A curve change.
It busted in on the, well, from a left-hander, it just busted in on the right-handed hitter, but it just kind of fluttered through there.
48 miles an
Yeah,
hour.
it stopped and got gas on the way.
And now for the second time today, Addison Leshber has an opportunity with a runner on 3rd and 2 outs. She popped out with the bases loaded to end the first inning. Back to the circle. Thompson is there, and she does the job coming out of the bullpen. Minnesota able to take the lead, but again, leaves a bit more on base. So now the weekend in Clemson, as they will have a doubleheader on Saturday against Mercer and Fordham and take on Longwood tomorrow. That game has already been changed to 2:30 Eastern time.
Yep, and Clemson's game's been bumped up.
Yeah, from 6 to 5.
Yep. Ariel Oda steps in. She's one of the originals and just a favorite of mine just because of the grit and determination. She and JoJo high school teammates at Buford, just across the state line back in Georgia. But Oda has done everything John Rittman's asked her to do. She has been a Swiss Army knife. She's done everything. And the one thing she does better than anything, she stays in the lineup. I mean, they just can't get her out of the lineup. She's a fighter. And I really, really have enjoyed watching her play. There's John Rittman, Johnny Ballgame.
5th-year head coach.
The architect of the Clemson program. He was, when I say architect, I mean literally. He was here when they helped design the stadium. He started the program from scratch, and now in his 5th season.
3-0 pitch cruised in there by Hambrick, who is now pitching with the lead again. Oda, Brown, Clark, Cagle to follow if the inning continues here in the 3rd.
And I have, I'm not ashamed to say it, I've had the luxury of profiting from the knowledge of John Rittman for over 30 years. Of course, it didn't take him that long to tell me everything he knew, but
I'm sure he feels the same way.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
Here's a look at the UNC transfer coming into today. Alex Brown at the top of the lineup. She brings so much to the table, Scott. You know, as a slap hitter, she can also stand in and hit for power.
That's correct. And Oda did what she was supposed to do as a leadoff hitter of an inning. She got on base, she drew a walk.
And a bluffed bunt brings in Chavez.
She was kind of taken right there to see if they were going to throw a strike. Anytime you have a pitcher right there that walks a batter on 4 or 5 pitches, you want to kind of figure out what they're doing.
1 stolen base this season for Oda. Check swing pushes the count to 0-2.
Suddenly finds herself buried in the count now. Again, we've talked about it, productive outs. This was a I don't mean to foul ball. Unfortunately, they do not give you do-overs. She needs to figure out how to make an out and move the runner.
Two misses outside. Well, when you have Oda leading off the inning, now you have 6 hitters all hitting 300 in a row.
Correct.
Certainly a recipe for success here in this half inning for the home Tigers.
And a good opportunity to get your run back.
And some. Oda at first with speed. Brown takes a letter-high ball.
You've been busy over there working the numbers between pitches. You're just always on the go.
You know, I'm a worker. Here's another number.
There you go.
Clemson hit leading mark. Cagle, Clark due up. Next 2 batters as a short hop finds its way near the dugout. It stays out of it as Oda scampers to second.
Well, we saw that come into play earlier today with a wild pitch from McCubbin. Helped score a run for the Golden Gophers. Now, you see a chance now for Brown. If she can hit a ball on the right side to get the runner over to third base with 1 out. Or
it's an excuse me swing and is snagged by Oakland.
that's definitely what she didn't want to do.
Tell you what, Hambrick's been able to pitch her way nearly out of jams. Last inning, the leadoff triple, followed by the same result, the pop-up to the shortstop.
Yeah.
Now with one out, Mackenzie Clark, who walked in the first inning, comes to the plate.
And the best thing Mackenzie Clark's got going for her is who's on deck, so she's going to probably get pitches to hit.
It's a fun-looking chart right there.
Sure is.
She wants the ball up in the zone. There's no doubt about it, as Hambrick keeps it low and misses.
Hey, look at that.
I think that's what Bigfoot looks like.
Well, it looks like it's going to rain right at the top of her strike zone.
We got 6-4-3 charts and Synergy to thank for that.
Look at all of these things they throw at us now.
Whatever it is, she doesn't touch anything low and inside. That was left blank as the count evens 1-1.
But she gets hit surprisingly a lot by pitchers. And that's, I mean, I'm not joking about that.
Yeah, 7 times this season.
Yeah,
Clark
so
plunked.
she doesn't swing at those pitches down and in, but she don't run from them either. But you give her one up in the zone and she can hit it as far as anybody.
Well, there's that lower inside corner. That is a perfect pitch to Clark, and it's 1-2.
That's a tough pitch right there for her. Good pitch for the pitcher. You know, if you're Hambrick, you got to feel good now. You got her in the hole 1-2.
Clark pops one into shallow center. DeBoard in the shadows makes the grab for out number 2.
Yep. Well, if you're Hambrick, you're living well because you had the leadoff runner reach on a walk. You did wild pitch her over, but you've been able to retire 2 batters in a row and absolutely no chance to score or move the runner Oda.
Now a base open for the All-American Cagle. If Hambrick wants to, she can kind of pitch around her here.
I can promise you I wouldn't pitch to her. No disrespect to Longaleo on deck, but Cagle's Cagle for a reason.
As she popped out to the catcher in foul territory in the first. Now with a runner in scoring position, Cagle hitting .471 in those situations this season.
Boy, you almost wish the umpire would have called out a ball if you're Hambrick, because now that gives you a little, maybe a false sense of courage.
Yeah, here's a look at the slugging numbers. Really goes to show how important Julia Noller is. She's been unavailable here.
Yep.
Freshman first baseman, as Cagle fills in at first today and looks to maybe catch her young teammate with a big swing here. Oda at second, 2 outs here in the third. Backdoor slide action.
She's nibbling.
Not a bad pitch.
No, it's not a bad pitch. Not with that base open, it isn't.
Longaleo on deck.
The first baseman, Cox, is playing about as close to first base as you see any defender play in softball.
Cagle gets a pitch to hit and just misses it foul down the left field line. Got a good look there at Piper Ritter, the veteran coach, giving signs to her pitcher. I'm sure this one's going to be in the dirt, though.
Yeah, this one's not going to be...
So there she issues to the catcher.
Yeah.
Now she'll swivel and tell her pitcher to be smart.
Just tell her to be smart.
Well, that's what happens when you have a senior in the circle. And instead, it's right down the middle and smothered back from where it came. Oda rounding third. Throw is great. The slide is better, and we're tied again.
That's Cagle being Cagle. And we saw the head coach tell her pitcher to be smart. I'm not quite sure that was smart to leave a ball that much over the plate with her at the batting.
Cagle moves to second on the throw. Let's take a look. What a throw from center, though,
Yep.
DeBoard.
Throw was up. And that allowed Oda to get in rather comfortably. But as far as the velocity and the transition and the release, the center fielder, DeBoard, could not do much better than that. The throw was up, but everything else looked really good. She charged the ball, made a play, got rid of it quickly. But Oda has enough speed And there again, that aerial loader who I talk about, it just finds a way. She found a way to get herself to second to base. Second to base.
19th RBI for Cagle.
Yeah, and then Cagle just does what Cagle does.
She finds her way to second to base too.
Yeah, but she got her way to second base the way she normally does, after hitting the ball very well. And that ball was firmly hit.
Longaleo takes sign outside, and you have to imagine the stress for the player playing behind Cagle. So much pressure on some of these opportunities, but now that Cagle has loosened things up, we'll see if Longaleo swings freely. Driven in the 5-6 hole. Cagle gets the green light. They'll test Burnett's arm. She throws a dart. It's a perfect throw, but interference is called and Cagle is safe.
Yep, the catcher obstructed the base before she had the ball, and you cannot do that. Whether you like that rule or you don't like that rule, whether you're old school, new wave, whatever, you see, she was already ahead of the, she was already covering the plate before she had the ball.
Yeah, force Cagle to slow down. That's what you have to look at there.
And I think they're going to challenge and ask for a review of that. Now, if you've got the ball, you can collapse and tag, but she collapsed before she had the ball, or at least I think that's what the home plate umpire, Craig Hyde, is saying.
So I'll be the devil's advocate in this conversation. The ball brought the catcher over there. Are you supposed to just let it go to the backstop?
The main thing you're supposed not to do is block the plate to injure the player slide. This is about player safety.
Right.
No matter what, if they change the call or they don't change the call, the rule is in place to protect the base runners. Yeah, and
I'm sure Kraft is thinking the same thing.
And she's going, what am I supposed to do? Yeah. I mean, and you know what? As an old school player, I say the same thing.
It's a perfect throw from Burnett.
Yeah, I mean, for years and years and years, and you may even be old enough to remember this. I mean, catchers used to kick base runners off the bag all the time. I mean, when I say kick, I mean they just lay that shin guard down there and guard the plate.
Here's another look. I mean, take everything out of the equation. The glove is right where the foot is.
Yeah.
That is a beautiful throw, a beautiful tag, but on the letter of the law, it may be obstruction.
Yep. Well, I don't think they're going to overturn this, but you know, we have seen umpiring crews work very, very well together on getting it right, and I'm sure they're in there right now getting it right, no matter what comes of this.
Craig Hyde, Danny Slaughter, the two umpires reviewing this down in the tunnel.
Now, I wish if they could back that up just a little bit, but because you could see where she was standing before the ball got in there. Let's see what he says. Yep, she was safe.
Yep.
And they saw that the catcher was established in the area in front of the plate before the ball got there, is what they're saying. So I do know this, whether you agree with it or you disagree with it, the umpires had an opportunity there to go in and look at it and get it right according to the rule. And what else can you ask for?
That's player safety has to be at the forefront of every rule. And there's a reason why you can't block the plate.
Yep. Well,
unfortunate enough, Longaleo moves to second on the RBI single. Maddie Moore, as Hambrick bounces one in a 3-2 lead. Clemson's first lead here today.
Well, the first rule in all of softball is whatever booth you and I are sitting in to be safe. Then the players.
We are more than comfortable. If Michael wants to bring the Totinos up here, where you can finally try a pizza roll, and that would be a monumental moment. But aside from that, we are more than happy to be with you on this Thursday afternoon.
Beautiful day.
I cannot wait for the sunset as well. We got 2 games between Minnesota and Clemson, and from the first 3 innings, we're in for a pair of treats as Hambrick loses the grip and the count 2-1.
I'm sure she's a bit frustrated.
2 very close plays at home. Oda slides under the throw from DeBoard. And then the throw from Burnett brings Kraft into the base path as Moore now faces a 2-2 count here in the bottom of the third.
Now, of course, I've seen Clemson play many times, and this is my first chance in a number of years to see Minnesota play. But even after 3 innings, you can tell this is a very well-coached team. They know how to play the game well.
Oh, now our first base cameraman gets tested, and he dips his way. That's Braden over there dipping his way out of there. And let's get a thumbs up from Braden to make sure everything's all right.
I'd like to get a replay on that.
He showed his hips moving on this one, but
we'll have to wait for another time.
It might be next half inning as the game takes center stage, unfortunately. Let's take a quick look.
Let's see what we got here. There's that foul ball coming right at Braden. He's standing in on it, and just gave a little
shrug.
A little hip twitch to get out of the way of it. He sold it very well.
We thank our cameramen and women so heavily as this ball is driven to center. The wind will break it down as DeBoard makes the catch. Clemson scores twice and takes the lead heading to the fourth. Battling back from a tough start to the season, she had a interesting outing in Mexico filled with some weather, inflated the ERA a bit. And now Delaney Cox, the 8-9-1, due up for the Golden Gophers. Look at these pretty throwback style uniforms here for Minnesota.
She rode her way on.
That was a ground ball to third. Bit of a tough call, though, if you ask Cox. He probably wanted the base hit off the glove of Brown back in the second inning.
Yeah. I like that row.
I do. Reached on error.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
Maybe not everyone at home gets it.
Well, I cracked the code, all right?
Yeah. This is not just me and you here, Scott.
Huh?
It's not just me and you, believe it or not. We got people listening.
They really listen to this?
Can you believe it?
I know. I guess it's awesome. Hello, everybody.
Well, Minnesota has had a leadoff base runner in all 3 innings. Thompson looking to put an end to that trend as the changeup misses outside 2-2. Look at that ski Yuma. It's only 35 degrees in Minnesota right now as the bunt off a check swing finds Cagle's glove, and out number 1 starts the fourth. Enjoying spring break here under the sun for these Minnesota players. They have a 2:30 game tomorrow against Longwood. At Fordham Saturday at 9:30, an early one. 8:30 Central Time for those Minnesota fans and family back at home. So set your alarm clocks Saturday a.m. as DeBoard swings over a slapping drop ball. Looks like Fordham is in the house. I see them down the right field line.
They're down there kind of getting a little bit of a workout in, getting a little peek.
They want sun as well.
Is what's going on, yeah.
I don't think it's too warm in the Bronx.
I don't know. It's always pretty hot in the Bronx, isn't it? I mean,
in the summer.
Yeah, everywhere. I mean, just.
Here's a look at the Rams. Had a huge top 25 win last week against Kentucky. The same tournament that Minnesota was in Charlotte.
Yep.
Minnesota beat Fordham twice, 10-4, 10-2, and they'll have a third matchup Saturday morning. 2-1 count with the corner infield crashing. And tell you what, it looks like Alex Brown at third base can probably guess what DeBoard had for breakfast. That's how good she is.
She's crashing. You don't want to walk her. You don't want to put a runner on base with the top of the order coming up.
Here's a look at the defensive alignment as DeBoard swings away and fills the count.
She's got a big gap in right center. I mean, if she could hit one out in right center field, she could run a week.
Spacious outfields here at McCorder with the wind blowing in. Practice facility for football behind left field. The off-speed freezes DeBoard, and there's 2 quick outs here in the fourth.
And if she gets that going, if she gets that pitch going, Daniel, she can get double-digit strikeouts in a hurry. That is her best pitch when it's going.
50 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I could hit it, but that would be me looking for a fastball at 50 miles an hour.
Say, you'd have to use your pickleball racket.
Sydney Strelo, the leadoff hitter, 0 for 2 with a run scored as she'll take a strike. They call it a paddle.
Whatever.
I know there's some people at home who want me to correct you. There's another row. A couple errors by the Clemson defense today. An unearned run that scored across from Strelo in the first as the count evens 1-1. I'd like to see you show up at practice one day and try to hit some of these pitchers.
Who?
You. That'd be some fun to watch.
Well, at my advanced years, it would probably take me about 6 pitches to get the timing down.
Yeah, that's it. Just 6?
Yeah, and then I'd watch the first 4.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and then
2 swings, all you need.
Yeah, then I'd own it.
Looking for a 1-2-3 inning for the first time as Thompson finds the strike zone with another changeup, and it's 2-2.
Yeah.
She does such a good job working every part of that quadrant.
Yes, she does, and this is some of the best body language I've seen out of Millie this year.
Oh, and she heats it up. 62 miles an hour and a 1-2-3. Scott Emil, if he can name me the 4 routines that you need to go through for a gymnastics meet.
You got to do the uneven bars. You've got to do the floor exercise. You've got to do the balance beam thing, and then the pummel thing. Not the pummel thing, it's the vault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right.
All right. Meal on me here after this doubleheader.
There you go.
Excited to be with Toy Garcia, the former Auburn Tiger, tomorrow night from Little John.
Yeah. I'm not just some piece of eye candy in here. I know my stuff. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Abby Vieira leads it off. Bottom of the 4th inning here from McCorder Stadium.
She's had the propensity over her career to be a clutch hitter. She's got hits in big, big moments. She had one in the weekend against NC State. She hit a double when it was really, really needed in that Saturday game, the second game on Saturday.
Hamburg takes care of business, though, on an underhand flip, and there's one quick out. Beginning of this game, if you missed it, plenty of wackiness. Minnesota loaded the bases in the first inning with the help of an error, scored a run on a hit-by pitch, and the starter, Brooke McCubbin, able to get a few key strikeouts, catch a pop-up that she collided with Valerie Cagle on to end the inning. It's Kylie Johnson fouls off the first pitch.
Now, Kylie Johnson, as we said earlier, is a rookie, but she is somebody that Coach John Rittman is very, very high on. They think she's got tremendous upside, that she just needs at-bats and needs opportunity. And she's kind of stuck behind some really good players, but, with Garcia being hurt, she's getting some innings, over this last week, and I'm sure it'll pay dividends down the road. Another look at Johnny Ballgame. He must be paying the camera people.
He is just head to toe in that pretty regalia color, isn't it?
Well, yeah. It's the official color of that is called Barney the Dinosaur. No, actually, I'm sure.
We need to clip that one and just mail it.
I'm pretty sure that Nike has a word for that color. I don't know it. It's purple.
It's regalia.
It is?
It's regalia.
Regalia.
Take it to the bank. 1-2 count. Oakland fires over in time. It's a nice play by the captain in the infield for out number 2. Came off a little weird.
Yeah, that did look funny, didn't it?
But a good job attacking the high hop, right?
Yep. Guess what you have to do. I mean, I'm still getting over the regalia.
That's what it's called.
I believe you. No, I believe you. I mean, you showed me up the other night talking about gray being a strange word.
You got it. What is it?
I don't know. Starts with an A.
The Nike gray that the teams that are branded by Nike wear is called anthracite. And the Clemson orange goes with regalia purple. This pitch is hit well. JoJo Hyatt once again right into the fan. And DeBoard is there. A 1-2-3 inning for Hambrick. And the pitcher is getting into runs on 2 hits. We love symmetry here on the ACC network. As Millie Thompson has been almost perfect out of the bullpen, hasn't she? Omen's work as she has come in and retired all 5 hitters she has faced.
She has done her job. And that is the only thing our coach can ask of a player each day. Just go in and do your job. If you go in and do your job, you know, win or lose, we're going to be proud of you.
And a tall task to start this 5th inning with Jess Oakland, who is a first-team All-Big Ten member as a freshman, on her way to another All-Region campaign, a .458 batting average, 8 home runs through just 18 games.
Yep. She's a good one.
Drilled past an Olaying Brown. And now 4 of the 5 innings have seen a leadoff base runner for the Golden Gophers, and they have to be feeling eventually we're going to bring in more runs.
Yeah, they keep pounding away. And again, nobody here takes Minnesota for granted. This is a good softball program. That ball got by Brown before she could really make a move on it.
To the 3 spot in Kayla Chavez, who is 2 for 2 with a pair of singles.
She got that one up at 62 miles an hour. Now, if you pair that up with that 50-mile-an-hour changeup, that's a problem for the hitters.
Millie Thompson out of the bullpen 2 innings ago as Chavez skies one to deep center. Clark makes it look easy. 1 out.
Well, unfortunately for Clark, you get used to that watching her play. I mean, anything hit out there, I mean, that's where doubles and triples go to die. I mean, because, you know, you leave the plate with big eyes that you just drill the ball over the center fielder's head, and then the next thing you know, Mackenzie Clark is catching it and tossing it back in. She is an outstanding defender.
I think that's probably gone last weekend in Charlotte. Small ballpark. 49ers as Kraft takes a strike on the off-speed. 48 miles an hour on that one.
Yeah. She, when that changeup is working, she is nasty.
See those numbers below. Certainly not reminiscent of the talent for the All-American transfer from Duke.
No.
Kraft last season in Minnesota hit .342 with 14 long balls. Still has another year of eligibility as well after transferring following 1 season in Durham. Wanted to get a little bit more playing time, she told me before the game.
Native of Florida. It's now in Minnesota.
It's a little cold.
Yeah, I wonder if she even owned a coat before she went up there. If not, I guarantee you she has one now.
You almost grow a coat when you live in Minneapolis.
Oh.
It's part of your skin. Thompson looking for that strikeout. She has 3 already. Nearly picks up a 4th as Kraft does everything to get a piece.
I've been to Minnesota once in my life, I believe, for several days recruiting. Beautiful.
I loved it. Twin Cities.
Beautiful, beautiful place. I mean, but I wasn't there when it was cold.
Fly ball in play down the left field line for Oda. Tagging from first and moving over to second is Oakland here for 2 outs.
And I don't know if we have a shot of it, but the third base coach does a great job of telling the base runner you're going to have a chance to tag up and advance. You'll see her raise her hand and make a fist, and that's actually signaling the base runner at first base that you can get on over there.
Associate head coach Carly Wynn.
And she did a great job of letting her base runner know.
Back to the circle. Thompson puts up another 0, and Clemson will take a 1-run lead to the bottom of the 5th. As Bree Enter comes in, the Florida State transfer in her 2nd season in Minnesota.
She's a grad senior. And she comes into the game with a 5-3 record with a 2.91 ERA.
In fact, Enter was the starting pitcher up until about 15 minutes before first pitch when Hambrick swapped herself into the lineup. And now Enter will come in and look for a similar strategy to what Tennessee employed on Tuesday, which was 4 innings from one arm, 3 to 4 innings from another as Ariel Oda takes to even the count. Oda used her speed to score on Cagle's single back in the 3rd.
Have to draw on a walk.
Just foul. See a little bit of movement there from Johnny Baseball.
Yep. Johnny Softball. Johnny B. Johnny Ballgame.
Johnny Ballgame, that's what it is.
Get it right, buddy.
Did he play baseball?
Yes, he did.
Right.
Played college ball. Played at New Mexico.
The Lobos. Brown on deck, and once again, Clemson sets themselves up with the 9-hitter acting as a second leadoff.
Absolutely. And Oda's got the experience and got the skill sets and the mentality to do those things.
Here you see Millie Thompson in the background on the right, in line for the victory as we stand. And Ariel Oda looking for some insurance here for Clemson and their pitching staff.
And she's done something that's very, very helpful for the Tigers, is she's had a prolonged at bat to lead off this inning where everybody can get a little extra peek at the new thrower.
Enter misses high, and it's a leadoff walk. Oda's second today.
Yep.
So what can we expect from Bree Enter? A lot of up and down action, who throws in a curve as well, but mainly we'll see rise, change, and drop 3-pitch mix here from the grad seed.
That's correct. And right here, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Brown. Do they sack? Do they let her swing away? Yep, they let her go away. They're going to let her. She's a slapper, but she can also hit the ball in the gap. She does a little bit of everything from in there. The short game is her primary offensive tool.
Second team All-ACC, UNC last season. And, well, we'll have fun matchup next weekend, won't you, as the Tar Heels come to town and Brown will face them for the first time.
Yeah, I'll work a couple of those. I think I worked the first 2, and then the big network comes in and gives us the day off.
Now Brown will bunt and foul it back.
You talked about the very traditional throwback look that the Golden Gophers have. That dark maroon and gold is synonymous with athletics at Minnesota, University of Minnesota.
First trip to Oklahoma City back in 2019.
Man, that was a run, too. That was very special to everybody at that university.
All-American in the circle, Amber Pfizer. I don't think she really let up the ball much. They just locked in Pfizer every single game.
Yep.
Legendary arms in their history as well. Remember Sarah Groenwagen? And last year, the graduate in Autumn Peace, who took the Golden Gophers to the postseason again. 3rd season for Piper Ritter, now in her 4th as the head coach. Chopper back to the circle. The veteran Enter with a smooth throw over to second. Strelo holds on to the bag, and it's a fielder's choice out number 1.
Very good job by the pitcher of getting the lead runner. You watch, she shows patience. She don't try to hurry it. She delivers a great throw, and the out's recorded.
So Brown replaces Oda. Mackenzie Clark comes to the plate.
And we've not seen the runners try to steal a base today yet. And John Rittman's a very aggressive coach. He must know something about the arm of the catcher.
Yeah, it's All-American back there in Kraft.
Yeah.
Take a look at Clark's numbers. We talked a little bit about her chasing a record, 4 stolen bases away from Clemson all-time mark. but she has not stolen a base in 4 games. As Rittman has let the bats eat a little bit more.
The bats have had to help them more. I mean, that series with NC State last weekend, that was like a Wild West show with the way the runs were scored there. And then the game on Tuesday against Tennessee had so much pitching in it on both sides of the field that hits were a premium. So there wasn't that many base runners. And when you got a base runner on, you didn't want to risk them, et cetera, et cetera.
Sure, you're thinking similarly here. Try to get Cagle to the plate no matter what.
Yes.
She stands on deck in the count 2-2.
I do recall early in the Tennessee game that Maddie Moore actually attempted to steal third base. And I asked Coach Rittman about that, and I thought she went on her own. But John said, no, we had it on. So he was trying to catch them napping.
Yeah, that was with 2 outs as well.
Yeah, he was trying to catch them napping.
So the count fills here with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning. Clemson put up a 2 spot in the 3rd to take the lead for the first time. Minnesota stranded 5 through the first 3. And Millie Thompson took over. As this is fisted up over Chavez and into the grass and left. A base hit for Clark.
Now, that was a great job of hitting. She fought that off and was strong enough to get it out in left field. But this is a spot for those of you who have not watched the Clemson Tigers a lot. When there's multiple runners on base and number 72 comes into the batter's box, everybody gets on the edge of their seat a little bit here.
Oh, on a first pitch, Cagle does the same, goes the other way, and finds left field safely for another base knock.
She gets a base hit single to left, and she's down at first base mad at herself because she jammed herself with that pitch. Watch this. She hit that off the bat handle almost, and it just kind of fell between the third baseman, shortstop, and left fielder. And that brings Longaleo up in prime time now with only 1 out. She's got a chance to create a little bit of separation.
Might the 5th inning be a big one here for the Tigers as Aaliyah Longaleo takes outside. Senior hitting .333 this year.
And again, she's one of the originals that's done everything from play shortstop, third base, and outfield. She's done anything that Coach Rittman and his staff has asked of him.
Ground ball up the middle. Right, Oakland's going to come home and get the easy out. Now a chance to go to third. It's a double play. 6-2-5. And the Golden Gophers get out of the jam with a big one.
Wow. That is, she throws everything hard to set up the changeup as opposed to throwing something soft to set up the fastball.
And after that incredible double play, Clemson left scoreless in the 5th, and Breezy Burnett looks to bunt to start the 6th inning. Just like that, we get into the final portion of this contest. First of 2 played today between the Gophers and the Tigers.
Yes, sir.
Burnett's probably kicking herself a little bit. Had 2 chances at a suicide squeeze her last time up.
Yes, she did.
That was against Thompson. Now that change up. You go from 62 to 50 once again, a 12-mile-per-hour difference in pitches.
Yep, that's a handful.
And again, pulling the string, strikeout number 4 for Thompson.
Yeah, that one came in there at 49 miles an hour. This is just not fair. Either way you look at it, it's painful if you're the hitter.
So Addison Leshper, who is trying to time it up in the on-deck circle. Grounded out to the pitcher against Thompson in the 3rd. Leshper takes low.
Yeah, that changeup, when Millie Thompson is on, when that changeup is there, she is awfully hard to get a good time on.
Cox to follow. Here in the bottom of the lineup for the Golden Gophers. So regardless, Minnesota will have one more chance with the top of their lineup, whether it be here in the 6th or in the 7th.
Yep, they will bring the top to the plate sometime before this game is over.
Change-up call to strike. Anytime you have a hitter who has 8 home runs through 18 games, you circle that in the lineup and you see if you could be down by 1 and Jas Oakland comes to the plate.
Right.
You never know.
You better believe it. And what you want to do is not have runners on base when she hits.
Or you want them to be on base, depending on what side you're sitting on.
Well, that is a very accurate statement. We being neutral observers, working on
2-2 the count.
ACCX.
Two from Thompson. Change up, skied to right. Clark able to call off the freshman in Johnson, and there's 2 outs.
Yeah, Clark just, probably pregame said, look, rookie, you stand out there and look nice, and I'll catch the ball.
It's the Ricky Henderson effect. Right?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I don't think it's a hot take to say that Mackenzie Clark is going to be playing at a high level for a long time.
If she wants to, she can play pro ball.
Of course, the advent of Athletes Unlimited to bring more opportunities to professional softball in the United States of America.
It wasn't that long ago that the elite American players, if they wanted to make money playing softball, they had to go to Japan.
Yep.
And now they have opened the doors here locally.
Clark takes about 3 steps in, and Millie Thompson puts up another 0. 3 perfect innings out of the pen, and we head to the bottom of the 6th. Charts and synergy heat map. Moore, she can really hit it all over the place, can't she?
Yeah, she used it up. If you remember, her triple was to right field. She hits it all over the place.
Tell you what, that's what a pizza roll looks like.
Yeah.
If you were to give it a little X-ray vision.
Like an MRI. Just sit there. What is all that spread stuff? Pizza roll.
Well, Clemson could use a little insurance. Minnesota looking to push things to the 7th, down just 1. Brienter has come in, skirted around danger, and got a key double play to end the 5th. 6-2-5. You don't see that often.
No, you don't. And nobody really did anything wrong on that play either.
65 on back-to-back pitches there from Enter. Meanwhile, we have a new right fielder, and it's Nani Valencia. She'll come in for Leshber.
It's obviously a defensive change. Perhaps Leshber had an at-bat last half inning, and she's out there now to maybe give a little more speed, a little more range. That's a guess, but that
I think it's a good guess.
It's an educated guess.
Slaps one by her at 66 miles an hour, and the count fills.
Inter's got some giddy up.
We try to only say the velocity when it's an extreme in one direction. Like we saw 49 multiple times from Thompson, as Moore will work her 2nd walk of the week. And a leadoff base runner, not something that we have seen often. In fact, Addie Moore led off the 2nd with the triple. She came around to score.
Yep.
Leadoff walk in the 3rd also scored. So Clemson 2 for 2 and bringing in leadoff base runners as Abby Vieira comes to the plate.
And I will tell you this, Vieira is an excellent bunter. I don't know that she's bunting here, but 1 run would seem like 10 right now.
Yeah, looking to swing away. Strike called. Vieira came to the plate, down 1 in the 9th inning on Tuesday. Runner at 1st, no outs. Tried to take the winning swing and flew out to right.
Yep. First pitch, she tried to jump on it, and it didn't quite work out.
Now falls behind in the count 0-2 as the sun starts to set. We're just getting started here on this Thursday. Game 1 of 2 tonight, right?
Yeah.
Make sure to stick with us. I believe you'll have to exit out of the game file, whether you're on the ESPN app, on your mobile, or smart TV, and then you'll have to click the next one about 30 minutes after this game finishes, as Vieira goes fishing and strikes out. And Coach Rittman not happy about it in a situation where you have to check with the first base umpire because nobody's at third.
That right there was a...
And if you're Coach Rittman, you have to just ask.
He's defending the player.
Well, you're asking the wrong umpire.
Yeah.
You know? First strikeout for Enter. Let's see if we can get
with a three-person crew.
Yeah.
I mean, you really sometimes are limited. Now Coach Rittman's looking over there at the guy umpiring at first base going, come on,
here's
man.
his angle, too. Impossible to tell. He's ready for game 2.
Yeah,
now with one out and a runner at first, it's Johnson, the freshman, a hit and run.
Yep.
Popped out towards Oakland, and she has, covered pretty much the entire left side of the defense today.
She's a pretty good player.
So 2 quick outs now after that.
And Moore was running on that.
Yeah. She had to put on the stop sign quickly as JoJo Hyatt now comes to the plate. We saw all 5 runs score in the first 3 innings here in this one. All 0 since as Hyatt takes inside.
Another good ball game to work. Daniel, we've got our money's worth so far this week.
It has been fun, and expecting another good one to follow this. Run and hit. Oakland with a strong arm leaves no doubt, and we head to the 7th. 3 outs away, the Gophers backs against the wall. And then ACC play comes back to town as UNC for 3.
Yeah. And if you see right now, if you're looking right now, I just saw Donald Maddox make a note of the conversation they just had. So I guess that's one more person off Rittman's Christmas card list.
The 9-hitter in Morgan DeBoer looking to lead things off for Minnesota against Millie Thompson, who has mowed down this Golden Gopher lineup. 3 2/3, allowing just 1 base runner with 4 strikeouts. Strelo, Oakland, Chavez to follow. Talk about clutch moments. Minnesota has had plenty of them this season. Go back to Tuesday, down by 1, 7th inning.
Yes.
Leadoff base runner gets on via the error. That was Oakland, and then she scored on the game-tying single by Kraft.
And if you're, well, here we go.
DeBoer, a little excuse me, check swing single, and that's exactly how the Golden Gophers needed to start this 7th.
Yep. She did exactly what she should do. She took advantage of an infield that was playing in. Now,
so the top of the lineup we go. Let me ask you a hypothetical here, Coach.
Yep.
Is there a chance we see Cagle without her warming up in the bullpen?
I don't think so. I don't think so. You heard what I said, and I don't mean I know it.
Just asking. We have been.
She did throw a little bit.
We got some word that they're in the bottom of the 6th, knowing she was far from coming up, and here we go. Cagle jogs into the dugout, and we'll see what changes will be made as Grace Hiller, the first baseman, comes out, and so does Millie Thompson. How about that? Right on cue, a pitching change here in the 7th, and we will see if Cagle can close it out for Clemson. Well, those that wanted to see her now get to do so. It is the Player of the Year nationally and in the ACC, Valerie Cagle, who comes from first base.
Goes in, changed gloves, picks up her mask, goes to the mound. No big deal.
Easy peasy. Hiller comes in to fill in at first base. The top of the lineup for Minnesota, and we also have a catcher change as Abby Vieira is Cagle's catcher, and we'll swap with JoJo Hyatt here.
That's just a position change. That is not a lineup change. Vieira was already in the batting order.
For all those keeping score at home.
Yep, you got to put that the signal band on your arm nowadays.
So let's set the scene. Sydney Straylaw, who had a walk-off single in Florida against Georgia Tech in the Clearwater Invitational. Game-winning extra inning double on Tuesday against Greensboro has seen her spot in the lineup continually rise, and now the leadoff hitter with the power-hitting Oakland on deck. And I'll tell you what, Scott, is this what every game's like? We're 2 in a row, dandies.
I mean, we just have been high drama.
A 9-inning thriller between number 9 and number 11 on Tuesday. Now Minnesota looking for their one marquee victory here this season. The defense thinking bunt. Strelo fouls the first pitch off.
Yep.
So as a hitter, what's the biggest adjustment you make to go from facing 60 and 50 from Thompson, and now you're facing 72, 73 miles an hour?
Just everything gets a little quicker. The game speeds up even.
Rally hats are out.
She's trying to bunt the ball, but even you see, it's hard to do when the ball's coming up there near 70 miles an hour.
Yeah,
that one came into town at 69 miles an hour.
That one enters your kitchen quickly.
Yes, it does. Now with 2 strikes, will they leave the bunt on? I don't think so.
Strelo swings away and foul tips it barely.
Yep.
There's a couple factors that come into play here. Vieira, who was on the bench for 6 innings, now has to get flustered into the catching mode. Hiller as well comes in cold at first base. The 0-2 pitch, just outside.
That was a good pitch, but it was off the plate. That was just showing her something out of the zone. You can watch her come now, so it was something hard and heavy, or that changeup.
It is the off speed. It's a check swing. No swing. Cagle, 60 innings this season, 60 strikeouts, 13 walks.
Well, you knew they were not going to ring her up after the conversation we just witnessed.
Speed at first base into Board, and there's the called strike 3. 70 miles an hour on the outer black.
Yeah, that one had a little extra oomph on it. Now here's the matchup that I've wanted to see. You see, that ball's by her before she can even really get triggered. And that's a good pitch, too, right there on the black part of the plate on the outside part.
And what a well-timed steal by DeBoard. It's a drop ball in the dirt, maybe a changeup there from Cagle. Vieira had no chance, and the Golden Gophers put the tying run in scoring position. Let's get a quick replay, but I'll tell you what, Cagle not wasting any time on that first pitch. Ready on the rubber, the 1-0, and Oakland takes outside.
You know what? I mean, a lot of things worse could happen than walking her.
Force at any base. Take the bat out of a .466 hitter's hands.
There you go.
There's the intentional sign from Vieira.
We saw this. Tennessee did this to Clemson.
Yeah, you're putting the winning run on base.
But you do have the luxury of having number 72 on the mound. You know, when you can throw the ball almost as high as your number and you're 72, that means you throw pretty quick.
We talked about it. We talked about it on Tuesday. When you steal second, you open up that opportunity.
Yes, I mean, that's almost when you wanted to stay home.
Chavez has had a clean bat today. 2 hits and a run scored as she fouls off the first pitch.
Yep. But all of this is a little different now. Clemson's defense needs to be good. The pitches have got to be crisp. Catcher's got to block everything. Infielders have got to smother the ball. A lot of stuff's got to happen out there.
Cagle looking for her 3rd save of the season, and it's off speed, popped foul, a chance for Hiller, and it just pops off her glove. She thought she was running out of room.
Now there's somebody else who's been sitting in the dugout a long time, and she wasn't quite sure where she was in relations to the fence. She kind of got tippy-toed over there. But it is 0-2.
Fresh chance for Chavez, who takes outside. Taylor Craft waits on deck. Never a dull moment for the Tiger and their fans. It's the off-speed. 59 on the gun for out number 2.
When you go from 69 to 59, it makes a difference. And there it was. Yeah. Cagle even had a little bit of a hop there. You don't usually see that. Now, here we go.
All-American on All-American. Cagle on Kraft as the catcher takes low and inside. Taylor Kraft, whose RBI single tied it in the 7th, forcing extras against Greensboro on Tuesday, looking for a similar result here.
She's only hitting 204 right now. We know that's going to get better as the year goes on.
At 342 with 14 dingers a season ago.
If you're in the third base dugout, you hope she breaks out of it right here. And if you're in the first base dugout, you're hoping she'll wait at least one at bat more.
Let her get a big swing next.
Yeah, let her have a big cut at it in game 2.
2 on, 2 out, 2 outs. And it bloops over the shortstop, Longaleo. Kraft strikes again, and Clark's pump throw will catch the runner hanged up and safe on the slide back to second by Oakland.
Wow. Now this is going to get Coach Rittman out of the dugout. I'm not sure that was obstruction on that particular play. We'll see.
I don't think she ruled obstruction. I think
he didn't rule obstruction. He just ruled her safe, huh?
Nevertheless, Taylor Kraft twice this week with an RBI single in the 7th to tie it. Yeah, she gets in there. Oh, but the left arm comes out like you mentioned.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, we will have a challenge now to see if the obstruction will stand.
I don't think there's enough to change that.
Yeah, you got the right foot covering the bag.
Yeah.
I thought she was safe anyways.
And she very well may have been. But that's irrelevant now.
Yeah, there's a smile that tells a story.
That's a big knock.
Yeah.
She was coming up to the plate struggling, hitting almost 200 and delivers in that spot against that pitcher. That is huge. So if you crap, you got to feel very, very good.
One more look on the tag from Moore. The one downside for the Tigers here is Cagle just standing in the circle.
Yeah.
It's a quick review. And it is obstruction that stands. So Minnesota with 2 on and 2 out, all of a sudden a chance to take the lead with Maddie Elke at the plate.
I think they're going to say Maddie Moore's leg was there way too early.
Oh, she was out.
Yeah, but that's the foot prevented the slide, yeah.
And that's what we talked about, the finesse of 5 years ago.
Yes.
That's a crafty play.
Yeah.
Now it's illegal. Maddie Elke looking to snap out of a mini skid for her last 8. And this gets by the catcher. Strong turn by Oakland, and 2 are in scoring position here with 2 outs.
And you can just feel momentum walking over toward the third base dugout.
This is not foreign to Minnesota. They came from behind to win their 3rd straight against UNCG on Tuesday. They've had comeback wins against Georgia Tech. Santa Barbara as well. Little late on the heater from Cagle. There's 2 strikes. If you're curious, Oda, Brown, Clark for the 3rd time today.
Yep.
Oda will lead off in it. The pitch here at 1-2, and it tails low. Clemson took a 3-2 lead in the 3rd. We saw 3 scoreless frames, and how big is that double play now to end the 5th inning with the bases loaded as Elke goes down on strikes. Cagle gets out of the jam, but not before Taylor Craft strikes again. Those just tuning in, Minnesota ties it with 2 outs against the Player of the Year, Valerie Cagle, in the top half. Cagle due up 4th as Oda nearly gets buzzed.
Yeah, that was a humdinger right there. That was right under the chin.
Shaking it off, but let's see how close it got.
Pretty close.
Coming in at 64.
It wasn't as high as I thought it was, but it was definitely way inside. Now she's got herself ahead in the count, 2-0. You would think that the odds would shift a little bit toward Oda.
She hasn't seen many strikes at all. Pair of walks today from the 9-hitter.
Well, she's not a typical 9-hitter. She's a veteran who prolongs at bats. I'm a fanboy. I mean, what can I say? I'm a big fan of this hard-working blue-collar player.
Needing to get on base any way she knows how, and today it's been the base on balls. With a run scored in the 3rd for Oda, and a walk in the 5th, or only 2 at-bats. You couldn't draw it up better if you're a Clemson fan.
No, this is a lot of fun.
Enter looking to find the zone and misses. Oda will walk for a 3rd time.
There you go. I mean, she just finds a way.
And now we will see where strategy plays a part as Alex Brown, the top of this Clemson lineup, due up.
You can bet the wrench is bunting. That's what I believe.
I mean, you can get greedy if you want to try to steal and then bunt. Looked like Brown was thinking bunt and took it outside.
Yeah, I think you got a bunt here. I mean, you give Clark and probably Longaleo a chance to drive in because they're not going to pitch to.
4 sacrifice bunts this season for Brown. And another pitch that misses. That one looked like it caught the zone.
Now things change. You may want to take a pitch here now.
Now, Clemson has not tested the arm of Kraft today.
No.
As the skipper, Piper Ritter, comes out. Brown chats with Rittman. Now, we talked a little bit about Ritter. She reached 2 NCAA regionals, was a 4-time All-Big Ten pitcher with 5 no-hitters in her ledger. Still in the top 20 in many records. Still holds the strikeout innings pitched mark in Minnesota history. So if there's anyone to take advice from, you can say the same thing on the other side from the hitting perspective from that man and John Rittman.
Sure.
Great little chess match brewing between coaches. It will be a bunt. And it was a high pitch, bunted foul.
I'd have took that pitch. She may have thrown a strike, but I would make her throw a strike before I would have tried to sack.
Mackenzie Clark on deck, Valerie Cagle in the hole.
And if she's going to sack, she needs to be sure and get it down.
Brown bunts. It's fair, but spins foul. Heads up play by Kraft to let it go.
You've got to do the little things to win tight ball games. And one of the little things that you've got to do, that this is not just in Clemson, this is across the country. You have got to commit to getting the bunt down.
Well, that might work like a bunt. Instead, nobody's out. Heads up base running. Oda works around Strelo, and there's 2 on with nobody out.
That right there, fortune smiled on the Tigers on the base path for a change. They had it. They got a bad break, with Clark getting tangled up to get that double play. And now here, Oda does a great job of avoiding the tag. That right there again is, this will not be in a scorebook anywhere. But what Oda did is just outstanding.
The fielder's choice is ruled, and now you think again, because if Clark puts down a bunt, Cagle's getting walked.
Yeah.
So she'll take strike 1 on the outer half.
But with Oda out there at second base, you got to let Clark swing. Because Oda runs well.
1-1 the count. Clemson with one walk-off this season. That was Lindsey Garcia's single to beat UConn in the Clemson Classic a few weekends ago.
They're playing Clark straight away in left, straight away in center, but the right fielder's pinched over toward right center field. I've seen Clark hit balls down that right field line. See right there, she's off the line pretty far over there in right field. And of course, anything that breaks the perimeter, the game's over.
1-2 to Clark. Late swing.
Tried to go that way.
Plenty of speed on the base paths with Oda at second, Brown at first. Number 11 team in the nation. Gonna survive here to start the Tiger Invitational. And strike three, enter. Gets a big one.
Yeah, got her to chase one out of the zone. That was I think a rise ball. See, that was up in her eyes by the time it got to her. She swung way by it. Her head was out.
And here we go. Cagle blew the save in the top half. She'll swing at the first pitch and foul it back. Valerie hit the go-ahead home run on Sunday. There's her heat map. She can hit it anywhere on the plate
you just
or
can't,
out of the plate.
You just can't throw a strike to her.
A .413 batting average. And a change-up back to the circle. Enter will go to first, get the easy out. Everybody moves up 60 feet, and it'll be Lungaleo's chance to shine.
Now, if you're the Golden Gophers, do you pitch to Lungaleo or do you work with Maddie Moore? I would have.
What do you think? I'm pitching to Lungaleo.
I think I'd have to because Maddie Moore's just got better numbers right now.
Not to mention, if you walk her, then you can't walk Lungaleo. Yep. Big swing. Deep foul ball and out of play. Might have had the distance. Breezy gave it a look.
You just think right now the pressure on the catcher. A wild pitch, pass ball.
Wins the game for the Tigers.
Certainly an error. I mean, that winning run's 60 feet away.
0-1, called a strike on the outer half, and it's 0-2 as the Florida State transfer starting to lock in. There's the hit leader this season. Cagle up there. Lungaleo has certainly been clutch. 0-2, chopped to second. Strelo is there, her fire to first in time, and we are going to extras. What a job by Bree Enter as she strands a pair, and we head to the 8th next. Another opportunity to scrape across, just one needed. Meanwhile, Scott, if you're Minnesota, what's your approach here in the bottom of the lineup?
Get a base runner on quick as you can and bunt them over. Get a chance to score.
Meanwhile, Breezy Burnett, 3 strikeouts today and 3 at-bats as she takes high.
What you've got to do here, now the Tigers several times, this game has allowed the leadoff runner to reach. This is one inning that you cannot afford that.
Minnesota was able to scrape across that leadoff base runner last inning, and Taylor Kraft drove in Morgan DeBoer to keep the game going.
And again, you can't give free bases.
Cagle threw 20 pitches in that 7th inning. Came in after the single, struck out Strelo. This is low here, and it's 2-1. Tigers will have Moore, Vieira, and Johnson in the bottom of the 8th.
Daniel, I just had a great question asked of us from a good friend of mine, more like family. Jack Chandler back in Georgia wants to know, do we get overtime for working extra inning games? And regrettably, no. And he and his lovely wife, Carolyn, are watching us today.
We appreciate the support, and
well, don't appreciate Jack too much. I mean, just Caroline. Yeah, we appreciate her.
Cagle, key strikeout, and it's the golden sombrero for the goldish jersey there for Burnett. Well, all 4 of Cagle's outs have come via the strikeout. Nothing out of the ordinary.
No, that was a good pitch right there.
And Nani Valencia will make her first appearance at the plate after coming in as a defensive replacement. .231 hitter with 1 home run for the freshman.
Georgetown, Kentucky. You ever been there?
Now, Valencia goes around there. Is that near Maker's Mark?
I'm not sure about that part now, buddy. I'm not going to get myself down that rabbit hole.
1-1, well late. And count 1-2. Georgetown just about 10 minutes north of Lexington.
Yes.
Could have said that. I have not been.
They have very good, or traditionally had very good small college basketball. Georgetown, it's a college, the Georgetown College.
Yeah.
It's not the Georgetown that's in Washington, D.C., but it's the Kentucky Georgetown. And that kid's sitting there going,
that's a happy camper.
Yeah. But
she wants to win.
No, yeah. I mean, she's like, come on, y'all. This is a
great at bat by Valencia as the freshman faces Cagle for the first time and fills the count. Delaney Cox due up next. In the bottom of the Golden Gopher lineup. Valencia slaps one fair down the right field line. What a running play by the freshman Johnson.
Nice play right there by the young freshman. She ran through it, got a little sheepish grin on her face. That ball was tailing away from her all the way, and she just kept going and made the play. When a right-handed hitter hits one that down the right field line, that ball is going to tail away from a right fielder.
That was going to be fair.
And, oh, yes, that was going to be a triple.
So Cox, the final chance here in the 8th for Minnesota as she takes low and inside. The senior, for 3, reached on an error in the 2nd. A game that was started by Brooke McCubbin.
Yep.
She was a little erratic, pulled for Millie Thompson in the 3rd. Thompson was tremendous, 3 2/3.
She did a great job.
Did get hit with a run on the game-tying hit that Cagle relinquished, but Thompson was superb. Wouldn't be surprised to see her in game 2. 4 strikeouts, 2 hits allowed by Millie as the count evens 2-2 to Cox.
There is absolutely no telling what Millie Thompson was talking about then.
It really could have been anything. Trying to keep things loose in that Clemson dugout. We got to give it up to these umpires. They're going to turn around, switch positions, and call another 7+ inning game. Or maybe less, maybe 5.
They don't get paid for overtime either.
Do they?
No.
And food, maybe. I can go for some food. 2-2 is foul. How about those pizza rolls?
You're really pushing those things, aren't you?
You know what? I just get a direct deposit right from Tokino's.
Yeah. Well, you're doing a nice job of it.
2-2 the count. 9-hitter DeBoard on deck. Phil here against Cagle. In the hole for Lungaleo, and it gets by. A 2-out single for Delaney Cox to extend the inning.
You got to give Minnesota credit. They don't go away. They just keep fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting.
Just a seeing eye single in the 5-6 hole.
They do not go away.
This is one of the more important at-bats here tonight before the lineup turns around.
Yeah.
Clemson hoping to not see the top of the Minnesota lineup again this game.
That's exactly right. They want to see that crowd in game 2.
1-0.
You know, my bud Jack has got something on my mind about this overtime. I mean, I'm for the producers and everybody getting overtime for extra inning games. You know, I'm a man of the people. You know, I'm not just somebody up. Yeah, I mean, I want everybody taken care of. Camera people. Everybody, let's meet at Rick Babbitt's office right after the game.
1-2 the count. Rally caps are on in the Minnesota dugout. It worked last inning for him. Board, who singled against Thompson to start the 7th. Strelo on deck, Oakland in the hole. Rise ball gets her chasing, and once again the Tigers will come to the plate.
Boston University, same day.
Conference season starts March 22nd at Maryland as Matty Moore grounds it foul. And as you could expect, Minnesota will not be home until April. So they start their season with about 20 road games. I gotta give it to them.
Yeah.
To bring in Florida State transfer in the circle, a Duke transfer behind home plate. We had a GCU transfer, that's in gorgeous Arizona, and yet you bring them all to Minneapolis, and that's a sign of just tremendous program. As Matty Moore off the end of the bat, back to enter. How about Bree enter? 3 1/3, 2 hits. She has walked 3, but has not let any score.
And we're at a point in the ball game where there's just nothing happening offensively right now for the team in the first base dugout.
Clemson has not scored since the 3rd. They had the bases loaded with 1 out, and Lungaleo grounded into a double play in the 5th. And now a snag at the first base bag by Cox, and Vieira's retired.
Jumped on the first pitch. If you're going to jump on the first pitch, you got to do better than a 3-hopper to the first baseman.
So now we can see if that fantastic play in the field can translate at the plate for the freshman Kylie Johnson. The wind has died, no longer blowing in. The flags are still in center.
Either that or it's blowing straight down. Because those flags are pointed straight down.
1-1 to count. There's a look.
Now, there you go, Jack Chandler. Get a good look at those flags.
Minnesota won in the 8th inning on Tuesday. Clemson fell in the 9th. And there's a driven ball up the middle and a base knock with 2 outs for Johnson.
And that's got to be a good feeling for that young freshman.
And a Clemson team that really runs pretty thin. You don't see a lot of pinch hitters and opportunities like this as JoJo Hyatt is given the chance despite a 1-for-21 start to the season.
Yeah. I don't know that you steal here because at worst case scenario.
Well, she's off and running.
Yeah, she was off and running.
Half caught sleeping, and Johnson swipes the bag.
Shows you what I know.
Well, I asked you if Cagle was going to come in, and 30 seconds later.
Well, I was going to keep her there to let Hyatt swing.
Hold on a second. We may have a challenge.
We saw this the other day where they're going to challenge if the runner left early.
Wouldn't this be a big one?
And these are easy to these are pretty easy to check on. I mean, you're either there or you're not.
Right. One look.
Look at that, 135 replay room. If you get lost,
don't go in there.
135 is the replay room.
Now, once again, a little bit of a stall here for the pitcher.
Yeah.
Here's our simultaneous angle. Nope, she waited.
No, I don't think she ain't enough there to overturn that call. Let's see here. Oh, look at them.
Look at this. She's running backwards.
They're getting snappy.
Get on the elliptical.
Let's go again. She's still on the bag. 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 Still on the bag. Still on the bag. And the ball's out of her hand.
Oh, my goodness.
No, she's gone. She's safe.
You could put that, cut those 3 frames, and send it to the Hall of Fame.
And I want to tell you something. That is a great job by the camera crew right there. And that was Taylor on camera 1, I'm being told.
And so the Johnson Steel stands, and might JoJo Hyatt come up with one of her bigger hits as a Tiger?
All you want's a single. A Texas leaguer.
That's what,
anything.
That's what Minnesota got in the 7th.
Yes, sirree.
A number off the bat. One of the original Tigers that got here before there was a stadium. But struggling this season with 1 hit, 1 RBI. As Hyatt jumps ahead in the count 2-0.
And that was well out of the zone.
Enter has been cruising, but pitch counts up over 60 now as it is a squibber handled by Strelo, and we head to the 9th. Tied at 3 here from Clemson. Point, does the first game of a doubleheader just count for 2 wins?
Oh, they're going to make us play that second one no matter how hungry you get.
We're tied at 3. We'll have a half an hour between games. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Minnesota right where they want to be. They have scrapped their way back into this contest despite leaving runners on base in almost every inning. Tied it up in the 7th. Top of the lineup, 1, 2, 3. Strelo, Oakland, Chavez against the ace and Cagle, who came in the 7th inning.
And I can tell you conclusively that Coach Rittman did not want to use Cagle this much in this game.
Well, you have to play 4 games in 3 days this weekend. 5 games in 4 days if you push it to Sunday as well.
Yeah.
Only upside is Clemson has until tomorrow night, while Minnesota gets things going tomorrow at 2:30.
Yes.
The downside to playing the second game of one of those tournaments, you never know how late that might get pushed.
Yeah, it may not start until 10.
Yeah. 1-2 count to Strelo. She goes down fishing. A little clerical work on the 2-3 putout.
There you go.
So now another marquee matchup for the power-hitting sophomore from San Jose, Jess Oakland, who has walked intentionally in the 7th.
Yep. You got to win these matchups if you're going to win this game, either the hitter or the pitcher. See her change speeds to start off with her right there. Got a 56-mile-an-hour changeup across.
Cagle has struck out all but 1 of the outs she's recorded. It's a fly out by Valencia, that great catch by Johnson last inning.
Yep. And that ball would have fallen fair, and it would have got down in that corner, and it would quite likely have been a triple.
It's an example of the rally cap. Rally visor. 0-2.
A lot of things are going inside that dugout to try to get a run.
What was your favorite?
I was out coaching third base, but if I was in the dugout, I was too busy throwing up to be able to in these tight games.
These Minnesota players know how important of a non-conference win this would be. let alone another chance 30 minutes after this finishes.
Yes. And we have no reason to not believe this next game will be just as entertaining as this one.
Change up, popped fair down the right field line. Johnson, long run. She'll make the diving catch.
Yeah, and she gave herself a high five out there. She's excited. She said, ain't nobody around, I'll do it.
There's a big
There's a happy camper right there. Oh, yeah.
Gets the crown put on her by Clark.
Wow. Watch this. Great play. Watch the rollover. Emphatic. And then gets up. Watch this. Stay with me. Yeah.
A little slap on the leg.
Yeah.
First pitch fouled off by Chavez. 2 outs here in the 9th. Technically a foul out there. I think it was tailing into foul territory.
Yeah. You see a nice gesture here by home plate umpire Craig Hyde going out to talk to Valerie Cagle while Abby Vieira regathers herself after taking that foul ball.
The only upside with Vieira is that she has not had to catch 9 innings.
Yep.
So just her 3rd inning as the catcher. Meanwhile, Kraft come back out for her 9th inning as the catcher. Chavez well ahead of it, and the count 0-2.
Helps an off speed.
Catcher with her pads on deck and Kraft. Low worm burner up the middle. Lungaleo with the speedy runner, and Chavez never stood a chance.
No. That's got to go as a base hit all the way.
Once again, a 2-out hit for Minnesota. They did it with the game tire in the 7th, had a 2-out knock in the 8th, and then here in the 9th.
Yep. And Kraft had the big knock in this ball game. Tied things up.
Second time through the lineup for Cagle. Usually that's when she gets stronger.
Yep, if you get Cagle, you usually get her early.
This pitch misses just high.
Just a bit.
Two and 0. Speed and Chavez at first base, and nobody has left this place. If anything, a couple more have filed.
Yeah, get the game 2 crowd starting to come in. They've gotten off work, had dinner.
Three and 0.
Well, this is not where you want to live if you're Valerie Cagle, because this young lady at the plate can hit the ball.
Well, there is certainly something to say that whether it be second base, there's a base open.
Yep.
With the less dangerous hitter on deck, and it did look like Cagle was throwing around her a little bit.
A little bit.
She struck out Elke, who now comes to the plate.
But I don't know if it was that or what it was. I know this much. It's enough that Vieira wants to go out and talk to her. I don't know if Cagle's got a sore leg, not making excuses for her. I don't know if she's laboring or what she's doing.
Cagle was struck on a line drive, left shin on Tuesday, came in to start, got hit in about the 4th inning, stayed and pitched 9, and then today had a collision in the 1st with McCubbin, slid into the glove of Kraft at home, which was ruled obstruction. She's been brutal and battered. Elke hits one to right field. That will give Minnesota the lead here in the 9th inning. And on an errant throw out to 3rd, the trail base runner in Elke moves up 60 feet.
I don't understand what went on in right field there at all. I mean, the right fielder did a great job of getting to the ball. Kaylee Johnson, there was nothing that she could do but the throw. It was like she wasn't quite sure what to do.
2 outs, nobody on, and the Golden Gophers generate 3 base runners, and the RBI single by Elke. Now Breezy Burnett, 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. Look at that, right up the middle she goes. And the lead is 2 for Minnesota.
Wow, what a huge, huge hit by Breezy Burnett.
She just needed to fit 70 miles an hour.
And she just turned that thing right around. Look at this. I mean, bang. But nobody's business.
And that 4-pitch walk to Kraft comes around to score. 2-spot here in the 9th.
Walks are poison. The walk not only put the runner in score position, it put the second run on base.
There's Nani Valencia who takes strike 1. Oda Brown Clark. Stop me if you've heard that before.
Yes. And they're going to need every bit of it.
Clemson, a team that certainly can score 3 runs in an inning. We've seen that many times.
Well, if they're going to win this one, they're going to have to. Well, at least score 2 to keep it going. But they're not out of this one yet.
9 hits for the visitors. And Burnett will steal. Fierro back into the glove of Cagle.
Now a base hit would blow the game open.
Nobody even covering second base until Lungaleo got over there. Side out swing, hustling to the bag is Hiller. So 2 are stranded, but Minnesota takes the lead. Has leadoff walks 3 times tonight.
Well, she's definitely got a job to do, and that's get on base.
Re-enter in her 5th inning of work. Able to paint the perimeter for strike 1. About 64 pitches in 4 innings for Enter.
Yeah. Kegle's numbers have got up there too.
That's a great frame job. Frustrated fans in the count 0-2.
It might have been off the plate.
Kraft providing an impact on both sides of the field. The one thing Enter knew to do is to not start Oda with a few balls.
Yeah. Well, you get a 2-run lead, you pound the strike zone. In an extra inning game, this is what you do.
Oda off the glove. What a snag by Enter. That was headed to center field.
We've talked about it time and time again of what a big plus it is when the pitcher can field her position. She just knocked down a single from Ariel Oda and was able to get the first out.
Isn't momentum such a fragile thing? That ball sneaks by and the place gets loud and the top of the lineup comes to the plate.
The whole thing changes.
Now Alex Brown, who reached on that awkward fielder's choice in the 7th. That was off the first pitch. She's 0 for 4 today. Missed opportunities for Clemson. 2 on, nobody out, tied in the bottom of the 7th. Clark strikeout, the Cagle ground out. And Lungaleo grounded out to end the frame. One and 2. Slap opportunity and a dropped ball by the first baseman. Brown is safe.
Well, they're cracking the door. You've got 2 very good hitters coming up back to back.
That's probably an E3, isn't it?
It would, if I was scoring the game, it would be an E3 because that was in the mitt.
It's perfect. I was about to talk about the quick transfer by Chavez at third.
She did a great job.
And it will be an error on the third baseman as Clark misses the bag by centimeters on a drilled foul ball.
Centimeters.
Metric.
I understand what it is. I saw
I
it.
think it was less than an inch.
the science classes when I was in school. I know what a centimeter is. But down here in the South, we call them inches.
It's less than an inch.
Yeah, well.
Oh, Clark puts down a bunt. Tries to full enter. This one does stay in the glove of Cox, and there's 2 outs.
That is a. I know what she was trying to do. She's trying to get on base any way she could. She just bunted a little bit too firmly, and now you're going to see a big conversation out on the mound. And now this is very clear. The book tells you never put the winning run on base. Okay, but when the batter is Valerie Cagle, you know, that's a little bit different situation because she can tie it. You know, she can certainly tie it with one swing.
And they will walk her on 4 pitches.
Yeah.
Fans frustrated.
Why they call no pitch on that, I wonder?
Umpire must not have been ready behind home.
Nah.
So the count is 0-0.
Well, I can't argue with the umpire on that call right there. That was a ball.
Now, interesting enough, before the pitch, when Coach Ritter was talking with her infield, there was another coach that came out and chatted with the outfield, which must have been a conversation for Lungaleo.
It was very, very, no. It was twofold. Number one, keep the hitter off second.
Yeah.
The runner at second base means nothing. Okay? She's out there for show right now because she's down 2.
So that would be keep Cagle off of third?
Keep Cagle off of second. If you're the outfielders, knock it down, keep it in front. Do not throw the ball toward the plate.
Right, keep Cagle from going to third.
Keep Cagle from going to second. Well, now she's on first base.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, now the bases are loaded. And again, this is kind of the same story.
Keep Cagle
the runner at second don't mean a thing. Don't throw the ball near the plate. And now Lungaleo in a fairly high drama situation here.
She'll take a change up for a strike at the knees. The winning run at the plate. 3 home runs this season for the senior. Laced foul.
Well, it's pretty well down to cases now. If you're the Tigers, you're down to your last strike.
Game 2 will start about 30 minutes after this one finishes. As we near the 3-hour mark. Re-enter. Gets strike 3. And the Golden Gophers get their marquee victory here in 2024 and stun the Tigers.
Definitely too close to take.